Hey guys, we are back. Welcome back to the Dog House.
Let's go.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
How are you?
How are you?
It's only been a week. Feels like it's been absolutely forever.
It feels like it's been a very long time since our last episode.
Oh, I definitely forgot to start the recording. Jose, talk so I can
that's
start
so
the
fun.
recording.
Jack, how are you today? How was your day?
It's great. I mean, I was really excited for
Oh my God,
this week's
we're
episode.
recording now. Hey guys,
Oh,
we're
hey.
back. Welcome back to the Dog House.
Let's go. Episode 4.
Let's go. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
How you
I'm
guys?
so bad at
how
this.
are you guys?
I'm okay.
You're doing great.
I'm absolutely wonderful. How are you, Jack?
I'm doing so good right now. I'm doing so great.
Really?
Wow. Here we are. I mean, we're still going strong.
I'm surprised they haven't kicked us off yet.
I'm very surprised.
I think we're their favorite show.
I
yeah.
really don't think so.
We're either their favorite or they really don't like us.
We got a lot of the stuff on the actual due date.
Oh
for the
yeah, our
matches and
promo
stuff, so-
promo sounds so good.
Oh,
yeah, I
really?
recorded
Yeah.
the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Jose.
We have who let the dog out. Oh my
Yeah,
God, I
instrumental.
can't
Yeah.
talk.
Who let the dogs out? Yeah.
It's in the background while Jose talks.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
There's
that's
dog
crazy.
barking in the beginning.
So we're in the big time now, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right.
we
Billion
kind of have to
views.
start like posting more often.
Yeah.
We're
I
already
wonder
buying
who
a
that
content
social
house.
media guy is. Ugh,
Yeah,
rough.
whoever's doing that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, let's get into our first topic. I'm gonna divert to you guys. We're gonna talk a little bit about the WNBA and a little bit of a recap.
Jose was right.
Jose was right.
I predicted that the Aces were going to be eliminated
Yeah.
by the New York Liberty.
Liberty
3-1.
bibbity.
In 4.
My prediction for the other game is still in the air. It's going to game 5.
Oh yeah, that's true.
In
So-
4, so.
I just need the Suns to win.
Yeah. I mean,
5.
So yeah, the Aces triumphant run, attempt at a three-peat
Yeah.
is over. It's not happening.
yeah.
I'm so sad.
I mean,
AJ Wilson is still a fantastic hooper, but you go New York.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that game. I'm trying to get better at it. I watched a little bit of it, and pretty fun game.
Let's go.
A lot of layups.
Let's go.
Gets the points.
They're like the 2 best teams in the league. So
I mean, it was a fun game. I think I was watching. I think they were up like 80 something to like 50 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it seems like New York, which I'm not opposed to. I'll support them.
let's
I'll
go.
rep
Who
them.
who do you have going all the way, Jack?
Give me Liberty Bibbity.
Liberty Bibbity.
You know what it
Liberty
is?
Bibbity,
This is
Bibbity,
like
Bibbity.
it's the first team that I actually like watched and like
Yeah.
spent some time on, and now there's a bit of a connection there, and there's a
Oh.
little bit of love in the air for that. So I really want to see how far they go. Love Liberty.
Anyways,
Love
what
Liberty.
about the other series, Sydney? Can you talk to me a bit about that?
Which one? The Sun, Minnesota?
Sun, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
I really think the Sun will get that
going to-
game 5.
It's going to 5.
It's already in 5.
Who won the last game?
Who won the last game? The Sun won the last game. I literally just looked at it too. Hold on.
Gotcha.
Give me 1 second.
It's gonna be the Suns, but
I'm gonna
we
go with
love
Suns.
we love
Yeah,
to
the Sun won
clarify
the
here,
last game.
dogs in the
Yeah,
house.
Sun won the
92-82.
last one.
Okay, what was the final score?
It was Sun first game, then Lynx, Sun.
Wow,
So
Yeah, Sun won 92-82.
and it's today, 8:00.
really?
Yeah,
Yes.
lot going on in the
Interesting.
sports world today. Mets are playing right now.
Oh yeah,
Royals won yesterday.
Let's
saw-
go Royals!
I saw.
Yankees lost.
Yeah, what a shame. What a shame. I'm not a big baseball fan,
Yeah, me
but when I was a kid, there was a time where Derek Jeter was all my parents would talk about. And my dad's a Red Sox fan, so it was a huge fight in my
Oh.
house.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Ugh.
mom's huge Jeter fan,
Ooh,
but
that was
ooh.
not a good household then.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was probably just
it was
rough.
rough. It was it was rough.
So,
Yeah.
so the NBA preseason kicked off last week.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, I only watched 2 games.
Yeah.
Minnesota versus Los Angeles. I wanted to see Bronny's debut.
Oh yeah.
I'm still waiting for it because
There's a
nothing
lot
happened.
of talk. There's a lot
He
of talk.
said nothing happened.
Still
Yeah.
waiting for it.
Bro,
Didn't
did you see
really
that
do
one
anything.
video of LeBron like sprinting to try and get next to him? He was like,
Yeah.
people on Twitter were like, he just wants that side by side. He wants
Yeah.
the
He
side
He wants
by
it so
side.
bad.
He wants that Christmas card real
So bad.
Yeah.
And Sydney and I obviously watched the Knicks preseason game against the Charlotte
Yeah.
Hornets.
I saw a little bit of that.
It was a really close game. It was.
Yeah.
I kept yelling at the TV to put LaMelo Ball back in.
Yeah, she wanted to see LaMelo Ball, who
That's
played a
crazy.
lot of the game.
Yeah.
I don't really understand why.
Man,
But,
I
yeah.
remember that old show. I mean, again, I don't really follow basketball, but I remember watching I think it was Lonzo Ball.
Oh yeah, Balls in the
on that
House.
show, Balls in the House. Yeah, that was a funny show.
Balls in the house. It's Dogs in the House. Balls in
Yeah,
the
I mean,
house, Dogs in the
arguably
house.
our show
I
is
think they
better, but
copied
that
us.
show was pretty funny.
They copied us.
That was a pretty funny show.
Yeah, they should have known.
All right, well,
All right,
that's,
guys.
That's
Now-
really
I
no,
good.
kept also making fun of him, and I kept telling him Cat sucked.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because he's really still upset about the Cat Dante
I am a little
Julius
upset
trade.
about the trade. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I keep telling him that Cat sucks.
I saw a
just to
little
make him
bit.
feel
When you
bad.
have like a 7-foot center who's supposed to be in the paint, shooting threes from
Yeah.
like the logo.
Yeah.
He made one, and I got a little excited. Then he attempted like 3 more. And
I think I
But-
saw that on Instagram. I'm like, oh, maybe this was a great decision, and then I didn't hear anything
No, I keep
about
telling him
after.
that Cat sucks, and then he
Yeah.
says that he wants to cry, and I laugh.
Yeah. He laughed at me
Yeah.
crying. It's fine. It's cool. It's whatever. I don't really
Give
care.
it time.
Anyways,
Give it
moving on.
time.
It's time for everybody's favorite segment, Big Dog of the
Big
Week.
Dog of the Week.
So who wants to do the honors? Is it me again?
I think
it
it's
should
your
be you.
thing.
He's on your
I think
team.
it is your thing.
He's on your
Yeah,
fantasy
I've
team.
had Big Dog
You've had every big dog I think on your fantasy team.
for the past 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, undefeated.
Should be illegal, but
Well,
Yeah, it should
maybe
be a
you
rule.
guys should just get better players.
I'm,
ever thought about
I'm
that?
going 2 in a
Oh,
row.
boy.
I'm just saying I would have beat you if the Bills didn't go off that week, but it's fine. It's whatever. I don't really
ah,
Okay, well, guess what? The Bills did go off that
It's
week.
whatever.
So I'm
Who's-
3-0.
Who's the big dog of the week?
Big Dog of the Week. We have Jamar Chase
Rough,
from the
rough,
Cincinnati
rough, rough.
Bengals.
Let's
He had
go.
10 receptions for 193 yards, 2 touchdowns, and ended up with 41.3 fantasy points.
that's wild.
Damn.
That's wild. I always see an argument for some reason between Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson on who's better. Justin Jefferson didn't have a whole crazy week this past week, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Jamar Chase, I've always kind of taken him as a wide receiver who talks a lot of talk, but he certainly walks the walk.
I think he backs it up.
yeah, like
It's bark and bite.
Yeah, it's a lot of bark and bite. That was smooth.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing great. It's a shame that the Bengals ended up losing that game.
Oh my God.
We'll get further detail of that
So true,
game and what
so
we
true.
think, but I will say this: these stats are definitely not something you take lightly. If you're
No.
any team in the NFL,
No.
this is, I mean,
193 yards.
you need to
Insane.
game plan against Jamar Chase.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Especially because a lot of his touchdowns are like long distance touchdowns.
He's very good at getting depth. He's very good at
Yes.
getting away from a defender. I don't know
He's got
how.
those yak yards.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I feel like the era of like a team of having a star wide receiver and that's your guy was over, because I feel like after every team tries to do that, then every defense gets used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But they made it work. So good for you, Jamar Chase.
Big Dog of the Week.
He might be
go.
back. He might be back. He's been pretty
Is that our
consistent.
first big dog that lost?
Yeah, might have been.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you know what? He as an individual did not lose.
No.
That's for certain. Yeah.
He got me some points.
Yeah, and
So.
this week's honorable mention.
I don't think we'll ever
I
pop
don't think
up
we're ever
again.
gonna hear from this guy.
Which is, I think that's why we picked him as honorable mention.
Yeah, because it's like, let's get him while we
get him up here.
still can.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the honorable mention?
Let's go, Jack.
Okay, I guess I'm doing it. It's Tank Bigsby of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars have been arguably the worst football team in the NFL. I don't really know what's going on with that team, but they had their first win the other day, and pretty good on them. Pretty good on them.
Let's go.
Tank Bigsby, though, this is not a player that I think any of us were really expecting. I'm not gonna lie, I paid no attention to who this guy was.
Yeah.
He had a pretty good game. He had 13 carries for 101 yards, 1 reception for 28 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, and in fantasy, he got 25.9 fantasy points. He's on nobody's team. I don't know for any of those listeners out there who are in fantasy.
I probably wouldn't pick him up.
I'm
but
pretty certain nobody has this guy on their team.
no, to get that stat, I had to go into like the waivers.
Yeah, like
Insane,
And
yeah.
like I know waiver wire. Usually waiver wire in week 1 and week 2 is huge. It's not really that big once you get further into the season.
I
But
feel like, especially for me, like I haven't had a chance to actually get into the waiver wires just because I haven't really needed to.
yeah, I mean, I
That
think,
wasn't supposed to be like a brag. That was just like a fact.
Oh no, it's a brag.
I
It's not a
didn't
bad
mean it
a
thing.
little
to.
bit of both.
It's
Yeah.
not
I
a
didn't
bad
mean it
thing.
It is
to.
what it is.
I know, like waiver wire week 1, that player was Isaiah Likely. Everybody wanted him, and I think week 2 it was, who was it actually? Was it Jordan Mason?
Wasn't that like Jawan Jennings week?
It might have been Jawan
I think
Jennings.
it was Jawan Jennings
Yeah.
week.
But I mean, as you go further, like teams have kind of established what their game plan is now. But good for you, Tanks Bigsby. I don't know if we're ever going to see you again, but enjoy it while it lasts if you're out there listening.
Alrighty, and it's time for everybody's also favorite segment, the Dog Pound. I would actually like to change our first Dog Pound to Jose.
Oh, okay. All right, Jose.
I just went to go pick up my water bottle, and it's empty. He put it into his water bottle.
That's messed up.
You want to know what happened?
Tell us.
I'm in the radio station, and I go to the bathroom. I come back. Yeah. And she's taking my backpack.
Actually, Jared gave it to me because he wanted to sit down.
Okay, this is a new development.
Yeah, so my backpack is gone, disappeared off the face of the planet. And Sydney has my backpack and refuses to return it.
What?
So what do? I need to go to class.
Yeah.
I need a backpack for... You can't go to class without a backpack. What is that?
Yeah.
He took my water.
What are you, just like a regular person?
Yeah. Exactly. So I took my water jug, I took her backpack, and I went to class.
Nice.
Only thing I did in class was open her water jug, opened my water jug.
And stole the water.
And I stole the water.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So I think we put Jose in the Dog Pound.
I mean, I certainly don't want to say. I certainly don't want to say the first person. And you know what, Jose?
I can.
No, Jack should not say it.
No, I will do it. I will do it. Somebody introduce the segment.
Hold on, let me just say this real quick. I had plans. I had such interesting plans to introduce this first player, and it's in good taste that I don't say it. But when you hear who this player is, I think you'll understand how we all might feel about this player. Anyway, I won't say it now. Go ahead, Dawgs.
Let's go, Sydney.
Deshaun Watson, you are in the Dog Pound.
Ruh-roh. He's, oh, God.
He went 15 for 28 for 125 yards and 1 touchdown. But I will say I saw a video because I don't think I watched much of that game. But he basically just gave up on his team in like the first quarter.
So watching that game because they played
the Commanders,
who, by the way, are
explosive offense, best looking offense in the NFL right now.
I'm losing my mind watching this because my entire childhood, my dad's been a Commanders fan, even before they were the Commanders, if you know what I mean. And they have never been a good football team. They've never been considered a good football team. I know in the past they got some Super Bowls under their belt. They're no longer that team. They're just not. To see what Jaden Daniels is doing with this team, it is so exciting. Even if you're not a Commanders fan, even if you don't even care about that division, you have to like what you're seeing. I mean,
it's so cool.
It's such a feel-good story too. I feel like they deserve a win, and good on Jaden Daniels.
I feel like that's one of those teams that you just like can't hate. You know,
you can't. And I'm sorry. I know all the hype this year was for Caleb Williams. All that's out the door. I'm all in on Jaden Daniels. Yeah. I'm all in on Jaden Daniels. He is by far the best rookie quarterback. And I think it says something because he's also one of the quarterbacks who had to fight for their job. And I don't think we're really talking about Caleb Williams or Bo Nix that much. And I don't know. Maybe Jaden Daniels was the best pick.
I will say he did get an honorable mention for a big dog.
Yeah, he might be big dog pretty soon.
The other people didn't get anything.
He's been pretty consistent. But it is, again, it's his first season. And the one thing I'll say about Jaden Daniels is he really needs to learn how to slide better because he's one of these players who likes to roll into it. He goes head first. That does not end well, historically speaking, but good on him. But going back to
the Dog Pound
player in question here.
Yeah.
Can't really say what
I watched that game and
I hate Deshaun Watson.
You don't always know the full story as a viewer. You don't.
No.
But I feel like it's pretty safe to say that Deshaun Watson is not happy to be a Brown. He's not happy to be on that team. He doesn't seem involved. He does not seem like a leader. The fan base, even in week 1, were losing their mind because obviously a big person and a big quarterback who a lot of these fans look to is Baker Mayfield, who's no longer on the team, who is doing wonders for the Buccaneers. I have no idea what's going on with the Browns. They don't have a bad team in any way. They have some good weapons, but wow, it's very disappointing.
That
a lot of disappointment
getting
with this
Deshaun
player.
Watson for the Browns was the worst thing that they could have done.
Yeah,
that
they jumped the
organization
ball.
is terrible.
Yeah, and again, like it's just one of those positions where every couple of years you're gonna find yourself a good wide receiver. You're gonna find yourself a good tight end. You're gonna get a good O-line. It takes a couple of years. A good quarterback. It could be 10, 15, 20 years until your team gets another good quarterback. And this is not helping the Browns at all.
No, at all.
At all.
Doesn't Amari Cooper want out now too?
Yes, and interesting you say that. I'll get into that a little bit later. But let's go to
I know exactly where you're going with
let's
that,
go
too.
to our next...
Jose, do you want to say the honorable mention?
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead. Say it.
the one here that isn't as much of a veteran Bills fan as the two of them, Sean McDermott is the honorable mention. And
Yeah.
I can't say what you guys wrote down on the script to say about him. So
No, you
That was
can't.
totally me.
you can take it away, Jack.
I probably would have said something worse.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But
Okay.
I just can't believe that this man is really wasting prime years of Josh Allen. You make the mistake once 4 years ago in the
Yes.
13-second game. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
We can get over that.
Yeah.
You should not be making the same mistakes 4 years later.
So last year,
I'm sorry, Sean McDermott gets me fired up.
last year watching the playoffs, I will say this. Was I happy? No, I wasn't. I wasn't happy. But you know what? I'll give some credit to him. The Buffalo Bills are in the playoffs every year. They take the AFC East every year. And previously, I would have said, yeah, Josh Allen is 90% of the reason why the Bills are there. But I'll give Sean McDermott his due. He's the coach for that team. And, maybe he has something to do with it. What I saw in that game as a situational coach, that is, I don't even know. Look, I'm in no way able to be a coach for the Buffalo Bills. I can't be.
I don't think anybody asked you to.
I don't think it's going to happen. But let me tell you something. I don't think I would have ever done what Sean McDermott did in that game.
No.
You are in arguably the closest game in teams, in talent, and I felt like the game showcased both teams very well in the sense that the Bills had to fight their way back. I was expecting a hard game from them, and you know what? They got their way back. And there were a lot of issues that we'll go further into from the game, but you have a chance to get to overtime. Your other team has a lot of timeouts, and all you have to do is make it to overtime. And you decide to throw the ball 3 times in a row. This isn't Madden. That's what I do when I'm playing a video game.
Mind
and half
you,
of the time, it never works.
In a game when your wide receivers are not catching the ball,
And your quarterback probably just got concussed, but that's a different conversation to have.
and you are already having momentum. Why not go into overtime and see what happens?
What is he doing? I just don't get. And you know what? Here's the thing. I know a lot of people immediately after the game were like, I can't believe Joe Brady did that. The second I saw that, I was like, I don't think Joe Brady called that at all.
As soon as that happened, I was like, this is not Joe Brady.
After the first throw, I'm like, okay, maybe Joe Brady did that just to see what would happen.
I was okay with the first throw. The first throw was fine.
I thought Ken Dorsey snuck his way back into the box and decided to play something. I didn't know what was going on.
Nope.
I was like, what happened?
We're not talking about Ken
And
Dorsey.
the entire time, I was like, why not have James Cook get a couple of yards, make them burn a timeout? Okay, maybe that's not working. Let's see if Kincaid and Knox are back in the game. Let's try to get them more involved. Let's try to get some yardage. No, you want to throw the ball
to Mac Hollins again.
to Mac Hollins, who shouldn't be on the field in the first place after seeing what I saw on that game. Just such a bad decision. And what got me more upset was seeing Josh after the game say, yeah, I need to do better. No.
Josh, you did all you could, honey.
Josh.
It was like a Clark Kent in the first half, and then Superman came out in the second half.
He did not. I'm sorry. And again, I saw the stats for Josh after that game, and I'm sorry, none of that was on Josh. Look, were there a couple of balls that maybe it was a little overthrown? Maybe. But even then, he had no one in that game. Nobody.
I have a stat that I found on Twitter.
I think I know what the stat is.
The Bills wide receivers had 18 targets.
Yep.
They caught 4 balls for 76 yards and 1 touchdown, which was the Keon Coleman touchdown.
Why? What are we doing? Why? Why?
Somebody else said, if I still had a Bills podcast, I would mention that the Bills are paying Curtis Samuel and Dawson Knox a combined $11.1 million for a combined 78 yards.
Oh my
which
gosh.
I would argue is bad.
And let me
also,
just.
is Curtis Samuel like allergic to catching the ball like past the line of scrimmage?
Also, I'm sorry. I get it. Okay.
Sorry,
Jose.
I
saw some people.
I'm having the
Jose's
time of my
literally
life.
just like
This is so
ping-ponging.
much fun.
I saw some people say, oh, well, he's on a new team. No. Everybody on this team is on a new team. And you know what? Joe Brady was not an offensive coordinator. He was a wide receiver coach, I believe, for the Carolina Panthers when, guess who was on that team? Curtis Samuel. So it's not like everybody's brand spanking new. The offensive coordinator, you know him well. What is happening? And I saw a play when he went in, and I'm like, okay, good. Let Mac get a break. Because I know Mac, here's the thing. Is he a player that I can have confidence in? Absolutely not. No. Because last season he was only special teams. So no, I wasn't expecting greatness from him. Curtis Samuel, though, is not a bad player. By all means. When we signed him, I was like, this is a solid number 2. And you know what? Maybe he was a solid replacement for Gabe Davis. I'll give Brandon Beane that. But he did nothing. Actually, let me correct myself. He did worse than nothing. He went backwards on plays. He was awful. He was terrible. And you know what? After we lost to the Ravens, I don't like to be one of these Bills fans who gets on my team. I was like, you know what? We got punched in the mouth. Other team wanted it more. We'll be better.
They needed that one. The Ravens did.
That was a winnable game. Absolutely, that was a winnable game. And you know what? Even when we got to a tie game, I thought, you know what? They should still take this. They got back in the game. There's no reason why they shouldn't win this. And you know what? That's it. Done. I don't even want to. I'm done. I'm not talking about Sean McDermott. I can't do it. But I want to move into some other news.
Yeah, from one bad coach
to another bad coach, but another bad coach who I was not expecting this at all.
Just at least right now.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end of the season, but right now I didn't think that would happen.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys want to break the news to the listeners?
So in case you guys didn't know, which I don't know how you wouldn't, it was everywhere.
Yeah, it's breaking news
Robert
today.
Saleh got fired from the Jets.
Escorted out of the building.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It's like, you've seen that meme of that guy trying to get into the Jets practice facility? What are the odds it's the Jets again, though?
Oh my God. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think Robert Saleh was the reason that they were losing.
No.
Let him know.
No.
I thought he brought like a passion back to not like the Jets, but like to the Jets. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll give credit. I think when you have a younger coach who's trying to make a name for themselves, they want they want their team to win even more than the fans do.
I feel like Robert Saleh, and you could tell me if I'm like completely hot taking this right now. I feel like he wanted to be what Dan Campbell was.
I'd say so, yeah. I mean, Dan Campbell is a very different beast, but I'll give you credit. Yeah, he's a younger coach, and he
I felt
wanted
like he
that
took
success.
a little bit more risk than some other people do. Granted, like his probably didn't work because of what he had.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
the Jets organization is just the Jets organization.
I will say this, just something to keep in mind. In 2023, Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. Zach Wilson is your starting quarterback.
Yeah.
In the first 5 games.
Oh, I know exactly where you're going with this.
Jose, what do you think the Jets' record was in 5 games?
Pretty sure 2-3.
2-3.
Yep.
The Jets' current record right now within their first 5 games, 2-3. And this is with Aaron Rodgers, who's going to take you to the Super Bowl. Give me a break.
Speaking of,
give me a break.
They had the same amount of, I think it was points in the first 5 games from last
I think
year
it was
and this year. It's 93 points with Zach Wilson, 93 points with Aaron Rodgers.
This decision is just further proof that there's a lot of delusion in that organization. I understand you have a somewhat good quarterback who you don't need to establish at all because they're already established. He is a Hall of Famer. He's 100% a Hall of Famer.
But not at 40 years old.
He is not getting you to the Super Bowl. He is not Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. This is Aaron Rodgers.
There is no more discount double check.
Yeah, he's retiring as a Jet. Sure. Good on him, I guess.
I would sign a 10-day contract just so I didn't have to do that.
But you know what? Like, to me, when I see this decision being made, it tells me a couple things. One, there's no way Aaron Rodgers didn't have any kind of say in this.
He absolutely
did.
100%.
I know there are people out there.
He was just LeBron Jamesing his way in there.
There's no way he had something to do with this. Another thing that I want to ask Jets fans out there is, what problem does this solve? None. Nothing. It solves nothing immediately. You could have kept him the rest of the season and then made that decision. Okay, yeah, that probably would have made more sense. But this makes no logical sense at all. This is a terrible decision by the Jets. And even more, you're a team that you're 2-3. That's not great. But
aren't they like second in the division right now?
They're second in division, and they're playing arguably their biggest division rival coming up on Monday night. You have a huge game in front of you.
You should come watch with us.
And
we're having a watch party here.
I'll take it. I'll
Let's
do
go.
it. All right.
Oh my gosh, Jack just said yes.
Dogs in the house.
Live stream?
Live stream?
Woof.
Woof. Well, anyway,
Sorry.
The Jets. This is a bad decision on their part. Another thing that I think is funny too, because I don't think I've seen a decision like this in the middle of a season be made in a very long time.
Well, also there was a stat that was like the coaches who get fired mid-season, that team never makes it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Jets had a chance to make it to the playoffs.
Oh, they do. I mean, the Patriots are certainly not showing any competition, and the Dolphins are a
Dolphins
wreck.
right now. They
I
are
don't
a
know
dumpster
what they're
fire.
going to do. They need a lot of help. But to me, you now set up this idea that Aaron Rodgers is going to help your team even more. Aaron Rodgers has 5 years on this team. Mark my words, he has 5 years.
Give it less.
I think it will be less, but max 5 years. And regardless if he's in a wheelchair or not on that field after these 5 years, this team as an organization is now wasting the talent of Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, who are all on this team, who all want this team to work. They're all going to get wasted as a Jet because you have Aaron Rodgers leading this team. Aaron Rodgers is going to get hurt. He's going to leave. Regardless of what happens with Devontae Adams or not, he's either going to go to this team and be unhappy with what happens because he has more time after. This is a terrible decision.
Man is preaching right now.
And I almost feel bad for Jets fans. I almost feel bad for them. But
They're
I don't,
insufferable.
because they think they're going to the Super Bowl and they think this is a good decision. It's
I
not.
hope that we have some Jets fans listening because they're insufferable.
And you know what?
Hi, Aaron.
You know what?
Aaron doesn't listen to this.
Who did they just play?
The Vikings.
Who's the quarterback for the Vikings?
Sam Darnold.
Darnold.
Where did they play?
In London.
Do you know who the former United States ambassador of the United Kingdom was?
I'll let Jose answer because you already told me this. Do you know?
It's an NFL
Former.
player. Former?
He's
No.
the former ambassador, United States
kind of a
ambassador
question.
of
Yeah.
the United Kingdom, is the current co-owner of the Jets.
Oh,
I can't help but think he tells his mates about, that was not British at all, but he goes, that was
You're about
terrible.
4,000 miles the other way.
I cannot help but think he went to that game, told his friends, yeah, my team's playing, let's go check them out. And your team loses to the Minnesota Vikings, who have a quarterback who you gave up onto.
Mind you, with the third pick
Yeah.
overall
And you know what?
in the draft that Josh Allen was in.
Which is, I'm sorry, that draft class is ridiculous.
Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, all in the first round.
And
That's insane.
We don't talk about Josh Rosen.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sorry, Jets. This is not a good decision. This is not helping you, and I don't really know what you guys are going to do. And I know their current interim head coach, I believe, is going to be their defensive coach. That's a terrible decision. That is an awful decision.
Your offense needs help.
Your
defense isn't the problem.
Your offense needs help, and I'm sorry, but I think where your offense needs help is also the guy that you're paying too much money to be your quarterback. But that's it on the Jets.
We'll keep that one to the side. But you want to know interesting fact about the next game that we're talking about?
Yeah.
So Dak Prescott was the first quarterback to throw 2 interceptions on 2 different days in the same game.
Love to see it.
Woo.
That was just because of the weather
rain
delay.
Yeah.
I don't like Dak Prescott. I don't.
I don't think I hate Dak Prescott, but obviously I don't love him.
I don't like the Cowboys.
Yeah,
but
obviously.
here's the thing, Dak.
As a Bills fan, you can't really like the Cowboys.
Yeah, but Dak. Here's the thing, Dak is all right. He's an all right quarterback.
He's good in regular season.
He is a better Daniel Jones. That's a hot take, but he's a
That's
better.
crazy.
He is
yeah.
a better Daniel Jones.
That was great.
I think CeeDee Lamb is one of the best wide receivers in the league, and he's held back a little bit by being a Cowboy. I'll say it. Any Cowboys fans out there, I don't apologize. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the Cowboys with Dak. I forget what his new contract was. Not worth it. I don't know what they're really doing. But I will say it's a shame because I was kind of believing in the Steelers a little bit. I did want them to win this game. I'm a huge Watt fan, and I really like the Steelers' defense. I mean, they're kind of similar to the Bills. They're more. I always think of them as a defense-first team.
Yeah.
Although the Bills are not a defense-first team right now. But
they're just a nothing first team right now.
Yeah, but I would have loved to see them continue to be undefeated. I would have liked to see
Look,
that.
I'm in depression right now. Just let me.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll let you guys rock.
it's hard to be a Bills fan right now.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's just disappointing.
It's so.
I'm at disappointment level right now.
We were on cloud 9 2 weeks ago.
We were.
Honestly,
undefeated.
I think it's because you came in here and had that god dang spectacle.
Yeah.
And said, the Jaguars died.
Yeah.
Here's
This is
your fault.
Here's the thing, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we lost the Ravens. I'm not happy about the Houston game. It's good to get punched in the mouth to know that you're getting hit in the face. And any team that goes undefeated, I'm sorry, the second they lose. And I'm just calling it now. It's going to happen to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It's going to happen to the Chiefs. They're not that good of a team.
It doesn't matter what you do in September and October
Nope.
as long as you're playing your best football in December and January.
Exactly. And you know what?
I can't tell you how many times my dad has told me that.
You know what? But here's the thing. It's any given Sunday. And we've
seen that.
We're in the part of the season where it's any given Sunday. Any team could walk away. Any team could all of a sudden just flip a switch and be really good. And any team could just decide to kind of burn out and crash a little bit.
I'm burning out and crashing.
But here's the thing.
I'm crashing out.
Here's the thing.
I know I shouldn't be, but I am.
I prefer this over Buffalo going back to back games losing when it seems like we're not making playoffs. I don't think that's going to happen this season. I think
the AFC East sucks.
The AFC East is terrible, but for a lot of these teams, it's good to face some adversity so you can
Plus, we have one of the hardest schedules in the league.
Yeah, and you know what? I think even regardless of the Bills, any team, you need to lose to really appreciate a win. And you need to lose to understand that it can't always be one person.
Especially as a young team.
Yes, especially as a young team. And I feel like some of the teams that we're seeing do well right now are a little bit of a mix. I think the Bills are the youngest at the moment, in my opinion, who are still trying to compete for that same level of success.
Speaking of young teams,
okay.
Did you see the tweet about how Keon Coleman was the only wide receiver to take questions after that game?
Yes. I will say this. Good on him for that.
Well, absolutely good on him.
Yeah.
Bad on the other wide receivers. Because why are you letting your rookie go out there and take questions in a game like that? When, honestly, I had no problem with him.
Here's the thing.
I will say the one bad catch, or the drop.
Yeah.
But I think he made up for it. That's the thing I like about Keon. He has had some bad drops.
Yes.
But he makes up for them.
I will say this. He had a play that bothered me because it was an obvious rookie mistake. He goes out for a pass. He just never turned around. And Josh wanted to give him the ball. He was the only person open. I guess Josh was hoping he was going to turn around at that moment.
That's some miscommunication.
Hit him right. But honestly, that's more on Keon.
Yes.
Yeah, that's more on Keon than Josh. But I will give him this. He made up for it. He got a touchdown, and he brought us back into the game.
49-yard touchdown.
That's not something to get. And you know what? That wasn't an easy touchdown either. No. He was tiptoeing on the side, trying to stay in line.
Replay?
I know in the replay they said they thought he might have gone out. I don't think he did.
His heel never touched down.
His heel, from the angle they showed it on Red Zone at least, his heel, I can understand, looked like it went down.
It never
They showed
did.
a second angle, never hit.
Oh.
That's great awareness on him. That's him getting better. Good so I like to see that he's going out.
Not in my house.
And he's taking questions. Because you know what? He's got to learn that the fan base is unhappy with him.
Yeah.
I think
I don't think the fan base is unhappy with him.
No, but you know what? This is what happens. After you lose a game, you're just unhappy. You're not happy about it. And whoever goes out for questioning, you want to understand what went wrong. Happens with Josh every game, even though at this point, I don't blame Josh.
We totally forgot to talk about Josh dying on the field.
Oh, yeah.
That was bad.
I texted, I think both of you separately, and I was like, oh my God, we're done. Yeah. What are we going to do? I said, Mitch Trubisky's in. What the heck are we going to do?
And at the same time, I think we both texted you at the same time saying, he's back. He's back.
All I could picture was him saying it in the voice that, in the video, that Klay Thompson comes back for the first time.
That's crazy. I mean, that was, again.
I thought he was he was out cold.
I've seen a lot of people online saying it wasn't a good decision to let him go back in. I'm going to be honest. It didn't look good, and he didn't have a great hit in the Baltimore game. Yeah. I thought he was concussed. Glad he's not, but again, as a fan, no, I don't want Mitch Trubisky, and I want Josh to play every single snap.
The NFL does not care about player safety.
Well, especially when they're franchise players.
Yeah.
If this was any other player, if this was even a wide receiver, like Nico Collins got hurt, but Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs are both out there, they're going to let him go in the blue tent. I think it was a little soon to let him go back out. And
It
I
was
can't
one play.
I can't help but think it might have had something to do with how he played the rest of that game. But again, I mean, it's been a couple days now, and they've said no concussion. They said he's all right.
Yeah, well, they said that about Tua, too.
Yeah, so...
And he's on his 4th concussion in 2 years.
But you know what? This, again, I hope the Bills... And it's a different message now. Before, when we lost to Baltimore, it's for everybody. Now, I really hope the coaches understand you have a great player like Josh Allen, and that is exactly what happens when you don't give him support and you don't give him the right players. And don't get me wrong, I'm not mad at all the decisions they made in the offseason, but he obviously needs some help. And we'll see. I mean, a lot of people think Devontae Adams might go there. It's a whole other mess where he might go, but he needs some help. But moving on from that.
I was about to say, we should probably move past Bills game
Moving
now.
on from that. I feel like we
just
talked...
keep coming back.
I feel like we
It's
talked
kind of-
about
yeah.
Jets and Vikings. I want to talk about what I think is arguably the best game I watched so far in this season.
That was a
and
really
that
good
is
game.
Bengals versus Ravens at Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What a game. This was a quarterback clinic. And seeing Cincinnati lose sucks, but I'm sorry. I watched the press after. Joe Burrow said we're not playing at elite level. I disagree with you. They had a great game. They had a great game. The Ravens happened just had a really good game too.
Yeah.
I feel like even if I was a coach, I don't even know what I could say to that. They played at such a high level. To me, Joe Burrow he's woken up. This happens every season. Beginning of the season, he's not there. He's now woken up. It's a shame though, because this is, I think, the first time in the schedule that unfortunately he woke up too late. That's my own feelings. But what do you guys take away from that game? I thought it was amazing.
I mean, I only watched like part of like the red zone.
Yeah.
Was that a 4 o'clock? No, it was a 1 p.m. game, right?
Yes.
Yes.
One.
One.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously I was paying more attention to the Bills game.
Yeah.
I had that on my laptop and red zone on my TV.
Yeah.
And obviously we all know I was like crashing out in my room.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Shut up. So, but it was like I was watching the end of it, and I don't think I've ever seen Evan McPherson miss a field goal like that.
Yeah. Bit of a shame.
I like Evan. I
Yeah.
love McPherson. I think he has like a little swagger to him.
Yeah.
You
A lot of the Cincinnati players do.
You remember the video he sat out in halftime during the Super Bowl
Yeah.
and watched the halftime performance?
Yeah.
Like,
He's a funny dude.
Huh.
He's a funny guy. I mean,
I felt so bad when he missed that.
yeah. I mean, certain kickers I feel bad when they miss, but to me, if I'm the Bengals, you should have a lot of hope as a fan watching that game. I don't know who they're playing this upcoming week, but if
Jose, look it up.
look
please.
it up right now. But to me, if they can play at that
the
level,
Giants.
Oh,
They're playing the Giants.
That could
you
be a
guys
good
are winning
game.
that game. You guys are winning that game.
Giants are doing stuff.
Yeah,
Do we want to talk about the Giants?
we could get into the Giants, but just to close, good on Lamar. The Ravens obviously understand where they are right now,
Yeah.
and they want to get out of it, and nothing's stopping them right now, especially nothing stopping Derrick Henry. But big
Let's
game
go.
Joe.
He's on my
I hope
fantasy.
Joe Burrow continue to play at the level you're at.
Yeah,
And
I
then
need Jamar Chase
slowly-
fantasy points.
And then slowly fizzle out towards the end of the regular season as you do. But anyway, let's get into our next segment, please.
Fantasy update?
Fantasy
maybe
update.
maybe we
No,
don't.
I want to do this. No, I want to
Oh,
go
you wanna go
first.
first?
I
You
want
had
to
the
go
most
first.
points.
I don't
I
want
don't
to go.
care.
Okay, whatever.
I want to go first because I want to tell everybody that just joshing around is 3-0.
This sucks.
And Jose, do you know who I beat this week?
This is a fixed game.
You know, I can't
Fixed.
recall, Cindy. You might have to remind me.
Fixed
I
game.
beat the team named Captain Jack.
Oh God, it's such a good name.
Jack, do you know who that is?
It's me. It's me.
Whoa, who would've guessed it?
Yeah. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. Let me just tell you something. If Saquon Barkley and the Eagles didn't have a bye week this past week,
You probably could have got me.
I would have had
yeah.
you. I would have had you.
And if
And if, oh my God, look at these numbers. If Jordan Mason didn't suck,
so you want to talk about our matchup?
and yeah, actually, let's do some quick comparisons real quick. Jaden Daniels, the Washington Commanders, got more points than Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, Josh Allen is really good or not so great fantasy wise.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara and Josh Jacobs. honestly, like I know Josh Jacobs got more points, but that's pretty close. 16-12.
Yeah. And that's points with a touchdown. Alvin Kamara didn't have a touchdown, so.
Yeah, you really got me with the second running back. So you got me with Bijan Robinson, and I unfortunately had Jordan Mason, aka not Christian McCaffrey. That was not fun. I had a lot of hope in him because I thought he was good. This was the wide receivers I'm not happy with.
If Nico Collins didn't get hurt in that first quarter, he was going to pop off. And as much as I don't want to say that, he had 15.8 points.
That was the play of the game, his CJ Stroud connecting to him. I have him in my other league. Nico Collins is a ridiculous wide receiver to have. However,
he was on pace to be a big dog.
Yeah. He was big dog last week.
Yeah. He had 2 receptions for 78 yards.
He could be big dog again. I don't know their schedule. I know their schedule isn't that crazy. Hopefully he's healthy. I think he will be. I think
now,
he's gonna be
this
fine.
next person for me, I went out on a limb. I was starting Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill wasn't doing anything for me.
He's got no Tua.
He does not.
He's got no Hawk Tua.
I didn't get rid of him. He's on my bench.
Yeah.
And I went out into the waivers. I realized what he said. I just am skipping over it because it's stupid.
Yeah.
All right, I try.
I took a chance because of how well Carolina was playing with Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
And I picked up Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
Because he was getting 15 to 20 points for the past 2 weeks.
He's not terrible.
This week, of course, he puts up 5.9, but it doesn't matter because Marvin Harrison Jr. put up 5.6.
Yeah, that was really disappointing, especially after who are they playing? They were playing the Rams, and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray looked like they were the best players in football of all time. I was a lot more confident in Marvin Harrison Jr.
They were playing San Francisco.
Well, no, I'm talking about a couple weeks ago when he popped off. Yeah, he looked really good, and I don't know what happened. However, going to San Francisco, my tight end.
I was going to say, the tight end was pretty good.
In every single one of my leagues, I have George Kittle. George Kittle is really good at football, if you guys did not know. He outbeat your Travis Kelce.
But I'm okay with what Travis put up because
I was okay with Travis too. He's back.
I was going into Monday night losing by less than 1 point and had Alvin Kamara and Travis Kelce going.
Travis Kelce, he might be back. He's playing pretty good. He had a couple of cool little plays. He's the one. Honestly,
I was in class. I didn't watch much of it.
I think he's a really good player. He's a very good tight end. As much as I don't like the Chiefs, I can't deny his greatness. Future Hall of Famer.
Now the next.
Yeah, this is a blowout. This is insane.
Spot,
oh, Jesus,
the
terrible.
flex spot.
Wait, I gotta.
I have
go
Jamar
ahead, but
Chase.
I'll explain my reasoning.
I have Jamar Chase against.
I'll explain.
Against A-Chain.
Oh.
Jamar Chase put up 41.3 and A-Chain put up 2.7.
All right, can I just explain to you guys?
You have a lot of explaining.
Let me explain.
Well, we have to hurry up because Jose still has to go.
I'll do this very quickly. Originally, my flex player was going to be Zay Flowers of the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, he got 19.
However, the previous week, he didn't do that great, and I thought Achane was going to go off because they're playing the Patriots, and I thought, okay, you have no Tua, Tyreek Hill, and the wide receivers, put him to the side. Run the ball. Run the ball. That's all. You don't have when you have your backup quarterback, it's what he does. He hands the ball off to somebody who knows what they're doing. He got hurt, and then he was gone, and it wasn't even that great before he got hurt, and it was a terrible mistake, and I'm going to stop talking now because I'm upset.
And then quickly recap, I had Buffalo defense at 2, you had Jets defense at 11.
Jets defense was good.
And then Brandon Aubrey put up 9, and Cardi put up 1.
Yeah, I also made the mistake of putting that kicker in, but there are no good kickers. Jose, go ahead.
I had a clincher. I was scared this week.
He texted me. He was like, I'm going to crash out if I lose to Nando.
By the time the Chiefs game was going into the fourth quarter, I was only up by 0.04 points. Right? And me and Fernando had the Chiefs defense.
Okay.
And I had Harrison Butker.
Don't agree with him, but man knows how to kick a ball.
We don't like Harrison Butker here in Dawgs in the house.
Man knows how to kick a ball. Though.
I don't care.
All right.
He tells me I should be in the kitchen.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, anyways, I ended up
He did say
winning.
no, don't do that.
Yeah.
He thinks I should be there too.
That's wild. Jose, look at the camera. I'll look in the camera too. We respect women. Dogs in the house. We respect women.
So I ended up winning with a final score of 120 to 115, basically. Lamar Jackson has been my saving grace every single week. Stop laughing. We're moving on.
Lamar Jackson's great though. I like Lamar Jackson.
I think the Ravens are really what has been saving me, right?
Yeah.
So I decided to not put Breece Hall in because he never gets me any points.
Yeah.
And I actually dropped him.
You dropped Breece Hall?
For Aaron Jones.
Really?
Got injured.
Wow.
So right there, that was 6.3 to 17.9.
I know who I'm picking up in this league.
And CeeDee Lamb, Stephon Diggs, 11 points to 14 is what it is. Garrett Wilson got me 29 points.
He's not bad. Garrett Wilson's been doing pretty good.
Kincaid only got me 5. And
yeah, Kincaid.
Baltimore's defense lost me a point, so
yeah,
if I would have lost by that 0.04, that would have been really upsetting.
Yeah, you know what? Defense is tricky in fantasy because you know what? You could have a really good defense.
I never know what the scoring is.
Honestly, like the way I look at it is you almost want to pick a new defense every week just based off of what team's going against what. I had the Browns defense in all of my leagues because they were projected to be the best defense above the Cowboys and the Jets. They are arguably the worst defense. Yeah. And I got rid of them for the Packers defense, who nobody thought would be good. They're playing pretty good.
Yeah.
What really kicked me was Neighbors being out this week.
Yeah, I have him in my other league too.
And it was just rough trying to make up those points, man.
Yeah,
I mean, rough.
It was it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. I like Malik Neighbors. He is ridiculous. He's like a veteran on the field. Yeah. It's his first year.
Grown man catches.
I hope he's okay for this week. Because to me, the Giants, I mean, Daniel Jones hasn't been complete garbage, but he's definitely not great. But Malik Neighbors certainly makes it look a lot better. So hopefully he's back and he's good. I don't know where he stands with the concussion protocol, but hopefully he's all right.
So is that it for fantasy update?
That's it for fantasy updates.
So just so everybody knows, I'm number 1 in the league. I'm 3-0.
She's still undefeated.
Whatever.
Jack is 1-2.
What do I say about any team that's undefeated?
It's gonna go down.
It's gonna go down.
I know it will.
And you're gonna be yelling timber.
Okay.
You better move.
I better dance.
All right, that was crazy. Wow. Why don't we get into our players to watch this week? We didn't do this last week.
We haven't been doing it for the past 2 weeks, I think.
Yes.
We did it the first week.
It's about time to bring it back.
It's time to bring it back. We don't need to do it every week.
Yeah. I would like to go last for mine.
Okay.
Really?
I'll go first.
Oh, I know why. All right. Go ahead, Jose.
It's a hot take, but it's
all right.
I like the pick.
I think we all got to explain our picks.
My pick,
you definitely got to explain your pick. Yeah. I understand his.
Right.
My pick, he didn't play last week, so obviously I'm going to pick him to see how he goes moving forward. Malik Neighbors, obviously.
Great pick.
Going up against the Bengals, I think. Yeah. It's a pretty good matchup for him, I think it'll be great. But just in case, he's not playing, still in the
Did you pick a backup?
I did pick a backup. I picked Garrett Wilson.
All right.
I don't know. Right. Just something in my head. New coach, different coach. Had a pretty good game.
They're going up against the Bills, right?
The Bills.
Bills defense.
The Bills.
But
at MetLife.
We'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give my pick. It has a little bit of a story behind it, and I'll make it very quick.
Yeah.
I picked Dalton Kincaid this week, and the reason I picked Dalton Kincaid is because we're playing the Jets this week. I think he's gonna bounce back. I think this is a huge opportunity for him to come back, especially thinking about last game where our wide receiver room was garbage. It was terrible. Without Khalil Shakir, it's very obvious that the other wide receivers cannot step up. However, I will say this. James Cook, I still thought looked great. He was a dog on the field. I'm calling Dalton Kincaid this week. I think he's coming back. I think he's in a familiar territory. He's playing a familiar team as a division rival against the Jets. I think he'll come back, and I think Joe Brady, if he's smart, he's going to try and figure out some sort of sneaky way to get Kincaid back into the game. That's why I'm taking Dalton Kincaid. And it's going to work, and it's going to pay off.
Okay. Cool.
Let's hear your pick.
Listen, the man put up 359 yards. 3 touchdowns.
Man goes to bed at 9:30.
Okay. I don't care. You saw what he did for the Browns.
I think I did text you. He was a dog.
You saw what he did at the end of last season with the Browns.
Yes.
You saw what he did literally coming in for Anthony Richardson.
Yes.
I pick Joe Flacco.
Bro, Joe Flacco.
I think honestly, and I understand it's a hot take because obviously it's Joe Flacco.
It's Joe Flacco.
They are going up against the Titans.
Yeah, okay, Joe Flacco
They're going up against the Titans.
Yeah.
I understand it was against the Jaguars, but they lost.
He had a great
game. He
game.
Up 359 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The man can still ball.
After watching that too.
I think it's because he gets more than 8 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it's kind of hard to look at Joe Flacco and not think of this is a man who enjoys long walks on the beach in a sensible sweater and
Wakes
a nice pair of slacks. Yeah, like
nice mug of coffee looking out the window.
He's Kirk Cousins before Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but he's not drippy like Kirk Cousins.
No.
Kirk Cousins has cold cash. Flacco does not.
No.
But Joe Flacco, I'm just going to say this. I hope all the success in the world. Because honestly, any team he's been on, it's not bad. He's never been bad.
He's such a good backup.
So, all right. I'll keep my eyes peeled for that. But I do hope. And
the only reason I picked him this week is because they were going up against the Titans.
Yeah,
and
I don't think any other week.
I think this might be the sleeper pick of the week.
It might be. I mean,
he's the sleepy dog.
He's a sleepy dog. He's that dog that, you kind of have to be like, yo, come here.
Check up on.
And he just goes up to you and goes, that's what he does. So, hopefully he does well.
I think that's the sleeper pick of the week. But, we're just going to wrap up here.
I'll make some graphics for that for you folks who enjoy our.
Oh my gosh. Where can we find those?
Where could we find
that
what?
That was a question,
Where
Jack.
can we find the videos that you're about to make?
On our TikTok.
Do you know what the TikTok username is?
Oh, you want me to plug our TikTok right now? That was a setup.
I do it every week, Jack.
I didn't know.
I plug it in every week.
This is probably something we should have talked about before we went on air. I didn't know I was plugging this week.
We had other things to talk about. We had to go through the rundown.
That is very true. All right.
Okay.
All right.
You can find us on TikTok at dogs.in.the.house.
See, you're so good at it. Why would I ever do it?
You're great at that, Tiddy.
Shut up, both of you. And if you want to see...
Yes.
Right in the camera.
We put up Big Dog and Dog Pound before we go on air on Tuesday mornings. Mm-hmm. So if you want to see that, we put that up on our Instagram at @dogsin_house. Make sure you go follow that. We post on Mixcloud.
Yes.
We are now posting every week on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's Dogs in the House -W1H is the handle.
Yeah.
It's weird. Blame Jose.
Yes.
My bad.
So the YouTube, the TikTok, the Instagram, and yeah.
Yeah.
So
and easy access to any links. Go to our link tree. It's in the bio of our Instagram. It's the easiest place you can find it. Literally click on it and you'll see it 1, 2, 3, and soon to be number 4.
Let's go,
guys.
So yeah.
All right.
Dogs in the _house on Instagram. Dogs.in.the.house on TikTok. And Dogs in the House -W1H on YouTube. And then obviously the Mixcloud.
You see, I could never do what you just did. I just hope you know that. I can't do that.
It's because I'm a woman.
All right. I mean, yes.
All right.
All the success to you in the world. This is a great episode.
Love this.
All right. We will talk to you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in to Dogs in the House.